when is it that you should actually ask someone whether they want sugar or whether they want milk, and when you shouldn't ask, and whether it will just piss them off if you do ask. Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at the Pearl Lemon Cafe, and welcome back to our training series on how to crush customer service and wow your in-store customers every single time. We're here to talk about when to know when to ask and when not to ask these important questions. If you're enjoying this training series, please do comment, like, and subscribe, as well as sign up to the advanced training not shared in this series. So look, fundamentally, when it comes to some people that come in, a lot of people do tend to know their orders, okay? And I would definitely say that depending upon the type of person, we've already covered some of this to a degree, the builder's order typically is a case of someone coming in, knowing what they want, and then just running with it. So a lot of people will come in and say, could I have an oat milk latte with no sugar, and that's it. And that's a good way to work with it. Generally speaking, I would say knowing when, a lot of it relates to the time that people appear to have. So if someone comes in and they feel like they're quite casual and thoughtful, then ask them every question under the sun. If someone comes in and they're very rushed and or they're on the phone, then you can work with what they have told you. Now, sugar, of course, could be added in after, and it doesn't affect the quality of the drink. Milk is definitely an important one that you need to know out of the gate. But a lot of people, when they do know their order, will typically say what kind of milk that they want. So that's just something that people typically do tend to cite or saying, could I have X kind of milk? So that's just something to be mindful of. Now, the other side of it is that sometimes people forget to say it, and then there's that question, should I have asked them? So where and when you can, when a person doesn't seem rushed, and generally speaking, people shouldn't be too rushed when they come in. I mean, you do have the morning rush, if you will, when people are coming to get their caffeine hit before they head to the office. But then outside of that, you should have people that are, do have some time. Now, once you build up your list of regulars, then it's not going to be a problem at all. It's just in those instances where you're not quite sure because someone feels rushed. So it's a bit of a judgment call, but to codify it, I'd say these are some of the things you can consider. One, how rushed do they seem? Sugar can always be added in after. 3, the milk is critical, but most tend to know. And then 4, how specific is their order? The more specific, the more likely they're just to know what their order is. And then 5, this is the part where you can use tactical mouthing. So what I mean by this is that sometimes people come in and they're on the phone and they say, could I have a cappuccino with 2 sugars, please, as an example. And if they're on the phone while they do that, you say oat milk. So you want to ultimately wave or signal them to get their attention, and fundamentally then, I beg your pardon guys, I'm blowing my nose, then you can just mouth like regular milk, oat milk, and even say it out loud like regular milk, oat milk. But the way that you say it is almost like you're saying, apologies for the interruption, but I just need to clarify what milk that you want. And that's where tactical mouthing in that element comes in. So you can just make sure that you get the order right. And they'll appreciate that. And it'd be surprising if someone is annoyed by that. But oftentimes, if someone is rushed when they come in, they seem to know what their order is, or they've been vague, but in a purposeful way. Can I have a milk, a cappuccino with 2 sugars, or a cappuccino? Then, if they know what their order is and they've not cited ultimately what kind of milk they want, the default should be cow's milk fundamentally, and that's a good way to think about it. So if you employ these 5 strategies, especially tactical mouthing, where you're unsure, but it's that situation where they do seem rushed or they seem distracted or they're in a big crowd, big group, then that's the way that I would, tactfully insert yourself to find out exactly what type of, for example, milk they want, or of course type of coffee. If they do say, could I have a coffee with 2 sugars? But again, going back to, I'd refer you back to the builder's order to understand, what it is that you need to change there. So there you have it. They're the 5 things to consider when knowing, when you should ask if they want sugar or what type of milk.